yeah, we found this pond of corporate buyer on Fiverr who's willing to pay extra for a higher level of work. And our average selling price on Fiverr, it's not $5. Our average selling price on Fiverr is currently $652.
Welcome to the Business Ownership Podcast, brought to you by Awareness Strategies, helping you navigate the waters between entrepreneurship and ownership. Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelec, and I'm super glad that you're here with us today because I am here with my most amazing guest, Michael. Michael, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Awesome. So give us a highlight of who you are and what you do for business.
My name is Michael Chagala, and I own a digital marketing agency that I grew out of a side hustle, and I'm happy to talk all about that.
Nice. I love it. So let's get into that. Kind of how did you get into digital marketing as your thing? What were you doing that would possess you to go, hey, I think I'll start a tech digital marketing company?
Yeah, so I actually started my career as a software engineer, which is it was a bit of a rocky start. I didn't have a college degree going into that, and I was submitting my resume next to people with, master's degrees and, various types of software engineering. I actually got my first job as an unpaid intern. I had to beg my way just for an unpaid internship at a software development company. Anyway, over time, started to actually write some code. And unlike most software engineers, I'm a somewhat social person. And I kind of I would always be the liaison between the engineers and, the marketing team that needed some coding help with a website. And I eventually kind of made the transition over. And my niche was that I was a digital marketer who could also write all the code and understood algorithms and all that kind of thing. And so I had a pretty long career in kind of the corporate digital marketing as a result. I spent about 20 years doing that in various roles from, what you might call an individual contributor up to management. I was at the director level at one point in time and got really good exposure to kind of how businesses run. But after a while, I kind of burned out on the corporate world and just decided, you know what, it's time to start a side hustle. Who knows where it's going to go. And that kind of brings me to where I am today.
I love it. Well, you are our favorite kind of employee. So I wish I'd caught a hold of you before you decided to jump ship and go. Because self-taught people in the tech industry, to me, are far more important than the educated ones because of the reason that tech changes so fast. And people that are self-educated are just used to going, I don't know how this works. I'll go figure it out. It's like, and they're just really calm about it when stuff goes awry. Whereas the educated ones are like, I don't get it. This isn't working. It's like, I know. Microsoft did its thing. Zoom did its thing. Everybody's doing their stuff. And kaboom, it doesn't work the way it did yesterday. Welcome to tech.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I can't tell you how many nights I was up, till 3 a.m, burning through cups of coffee, trying to learn something that, Google had just made a change to their algorithm. And it's like, oh my God, I got to learn this fast.
And of course, Google doesn't share their information with anyone. So they're like, you're going to have to peck and hunt for all night long to figure out where that one is.
Yeah. It's rough, but if you love learning and you love consuming information like that, tech is the place to be.
Right? It's like candy for a kid with it's like you certainly won't get bored in this industry, that's for sure.
Right.
That was awesome. I love it. So now that you're running your company, you're doing your thing, bring us fast forward to today. Who do you love to work with? Who's your ideal client?
Okay. So to answer that question, I'll need to describe a little bit about how we operate here. We've kind of got a unique thing about Rank Harvest, which is we have two business divisions. One of them is kind of the standard agency model where we have corporate clients. We keep them month over month, work with them over the long term towards long-term goals. We're excellent at it, but it's not especially unique. What we have that's unique is that we have this other business division that we've built around Fiverr. I don't know if you're familiar with Fiverr, but it's meant as a platform that connects freelancers with people needing kind of little bits and pieces of work done. And it's called Fiverr because it was meant to be $5 services. So let's say you're a small business owner and you just quickly need a logo. You need your logo redesigned. Well, there's someone on Fiverr who, maybe someone in between jobs who is a graphic designer. They're sitting at Starbucks and they're like, sure, I'll design you a new logo for $5. And so in the early days of Rank Harvest, I created a Fiverr seller profile, just hoping to get a few dollars in the door to kind of help keep the lights on, kind of again in the early days, and saw there's an opportunity here to apply kind of sophisticated business practices and really scale out our Fiverr presence. And I thought of it more as, okay, well, let me hire a team of people. Let's put a bunch of offerings out on our seller profile. We're doing, search engine optimization, content writing. We were doing some graphic design. And I would farm this work out to people that I already had pre-existing relationships with. So I know they did excellent work. And I started to do things like playing with pricing. And while everyone else on Fiverr was in kind of this race to the bottom, let's see how much work we can give someone for the lowest price. And I went in the opposite direction. I decided, you know what happens if I double or triple or quadruple my prices? Like, then what happens? And I discovered that there are buyers on Fiverr who are more than happy to pay a lot of money with the guarantee that they're going to get quality work and kind of a level of customer service that they're not going to get from that individual freelancer. So yeah, we found this pond of corporate buyer on Fiverr who's willing to pay extra for a higher level of work. And our average selling price on Fiverr, it's not $5. Our average selling price on Fiverr is currently $652. And
As of today, people, keep that in mind.
right?
The time you're listening to this, that may have changed.
Yeah. And
yeah, that's awesome because it's hugely important because a lot of people, especially when Fiverr first came out, it was very much hit and miss. You could end up with a half decent logo, or you could end up with some chicken scratches, or a copy of your next door neighbor's logo. I was like, okay, we need a higher level of sophistication going on here. So it's fantastic that you've one got the platform together, because I don't think people realize kind of the complexity of navigating even Fiverr. It's pretty easy, but still it's time consuming if you're not used to doing it. It's a matter of interviewing people and getting to know them, and all of that taken care of is valuable because time is our most precious commodity, especially when we're at the point where we have money but not time. It's how can you save me as much money or as much time as possible, because it's more valuable.
Yeah, exactly. Our service or our presence on Fiverr, we've built a reputation where customers know they can come to us. They don't kind of have to hunt and peck through individual freelancers, because you're right, sometimes you get great work, sometimes you don't. It can turn into a big waste of time.
Yeah.
Our customers come to us and they just know that whatever they ordered, they're going to get agency quality work and customer support, and that's what they're looking for. And we do about $50,000 in sales each month on the platform.
Very cool. That is awesome. So you mentioned SEO and graphic design. Is there anything that because one of the things about Fiverr is it is very much made to be transactional because you got a problem, you want to solve it, now. Here's the solution to it. It's not necessarily a strategic solution. It's very tactical and very laser focused into what you want. Have you found that it increases your workload, I guess, to be able to create all of those kind of bullet points and then be able to bring people in and go, oh, by the way, we also do this, that, and the other thing?
It has. It's done that in several ways. For example, we have found revenue opportunities on Fiverr, and you know, hire the right people for us to be able to put a gig like that out on Fiverr. And then now that we have that capability in-house, we now offer it through our regular agency model. And we also, even within Fiverr, we all the time will get a customer who hires us for, let's say, content writing. They love to work with us. They go into our profile and they see that we have all these other services. You know, they kind of pop back up into our world over the coming months. They just know, you know, as you described, we're not selling these overall marketing strategies. We just sell these little packages where maybe, you know, a marketing director at a company, you know, maybe they don't have a content writer for a month. You know, they lost someone, and you know, they'll hire us to fill in briefly. There's no long-term commitment. And you know, it just kind of works great in both directions. And also being a former you know, being in the corporate world and being a marketing manager, I know what it's like to say, okay, well, I need graphic design done. It's due in 2 days. What the heck? How am I going to get that done?
Right.
You know, come to us on Fiverr. You know, we might have that done in a few hours for you.
Nice. Because you never know when Dave's not going to show up. Dave doesn't show up and like, we need this now. I don't know where he saved it. I don't care. I just need it. Yeah, absolutely. I love that on so many levels, because people have such issues in the marketing world right now, as you know. One, being ghosted by their person. All of a sudden, you know, the job gets a little too big, a little too complicated. It's beyond their wheelhouse, and they just don't have the breadth of width to deal with it anymore. And instead of communicating that with you ahead of time, let you know they're getting stressed out, they just ghost. And that happens more often than I can say. And just having people kind of not show up for work is becoming kind of habitual in North America right now. So when people are working with you, do they go through Fiverr to find you? Can they go straight to Rank Harvest? I'm getting ahead of myself because, you know, usually don't talk about how to get a hold of you yet, but I think it's important for the kind of how they work with you, that process, it becomes important.
So people that find us, people that order through us on Fiverr generally don't know of our brand prior to that. They'll just go to Fiverr and they'll search, you know, SEO consulting, you know, and we pop up or something like that. And once they do business with us on Fiverr, we keep them in the Fiverr realm. We don't bring them over to the agency. Plus, it's just two different types of customers. Now, on the agency side of things, we just get customers direct. And we do that just through various kind of standard advertising marketing channels. You know, one of the things we specialize in is SEO. So we're busy doing our own SEO and getting new customers through organic search. We're doing paid ads, things like that. So we do get direct customers, and these are very much two separate business divisions. Fiverr people stay in Fiverr, and then our agency customers stay on the agency side.
Right. For those of you who don't know your Fiverr people, now you know. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you about a Cinderella story of one of your clients. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick break.
Are you running a business over 7 figures but still struggling with technology headaches? Pay attention, you do not want to miss this offer. This podcast episode is brought to you by Awareness Strategies, who is offering a custom-built digital adoption roadmap for anyone running a business over 7 figures who's wanting to grow their business in the next 5 years. And it's not just a roadmap, they offer full implementation as well if that scares the out of you. Check out awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap for more details today. The link's in the show's notes. Don't regret not doing this. Do it now. That's awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap.
So I am super excited to hear about a Cinderella story of one of your clients.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite clients for multiple reasons. One of them is she is literally client number one. She goes all the way back when I first started Rank Harvest as a side hustle and was advertising my services on Craigslist. And it is a lady here in San Diego who owns a eyebrow microblading business. When she came to me, she wasn't getting any traffic to her website, and that's really what we specialize in, is bringing traffic to people's websites through SEO or paid ads. And she's been with us now this whole time, and we have taken her from, I think, around 10 organic visitors to her site a month to now she gets somewhere between 5 and 10,000 visitors a month, kind of depending on seasonality and some other factors like that. So we've completely changed the way she does business, and she gets so much traffic to her site that she's probably going to start selling like her own branded labeled products, things like that. So
Nice.
I'm happy to say we've literally changed the way she does business.
I love that. And so many people right now need to change the way they do business.
Yeah.
And it starts with being able to get those leads in and starting to figure out what they're asking for and then delivering on that, making the money, and then being able to take it up a notch, which is awesome. Yeah,
Yes.
great ideas tend to follow when they get money, which is fantastic to see in the entrepreneurial world. I love it. I know our audience is going to want more from you. How did they start that journey with you?
We try to make it as easy as possible. You can go to rankharvest.com and simply fill out our contact form. And what you get in return, and this is pretty unusual in this industry, is I will schedule a Zoom with you personally to talk about your needs, talk about how we can help. And I'm very honest and transparent. If I don't think we can help, I will let you know. I will help put you on the right path, whether that's with us or not. I eat, sleep, and breathe digital marketing, and especially how to drive traffic to websites, how to get leads in the door, how to get your phone to start ringing. I could talk about that all day.
I love it. So peeps, we will of course have Michael's links in the show notes. Go ahead and scroll down, click on the links, and open up a new browser because we're not done yet. So Michael, I get to ask you, at what point in life did you know you're a special kind of crazy enough to think that you could become an entrepreneur?
Oh, well, I felt it from the beginning, but the problem was growing up, I wasn't exposed to anyone who owned a business. All the adults around me just went to work for a paycheck each day, and I just thought that's what you do. And I thought that was the safest way to make an income. You get a paycheck, you put a little bit in the bank or in the retirement each month and just kind of move forward with life. And man, was I wrong about that. I've never felt more secure about my financial situation and my income than being in the driver's seat of all of that. And I think there's just this false sense of security that if you're in a stable job at a corporation, that it's just not as secure. You can get a boss you don't like, you can get laid off, you're not getting raises that you want. I don't consider that to be safe and stable. So I wish that years ago I would have listened to that voice in the back of my head saying, this isn't for you. I made this transition later in life, which made it more difficult because I had to go from this corporate world to owning my own business with 2 young kids, a mortgage. There was a lot more at risk than had I done this earlier in my career. So anyway, I guess my advice to people out there is if you've kind of got that feeling like you want to be a business owner, act on it. And don't be scared to fail. I failed at several businesses before I found one that really worked. And that was just all part of the journey. And I kind of knew that at the time. And even if you have to start it as a side hustle, I didn't just decide one day I'm going to start a business and then quit my job the next day. I developed this as a side hustle so I could keep that income during the day and develop what I really wanted to be doing when I got home in the evening. So I should have done this a lot earlier in life.
Love it. Well, we're glad you jumped on board when you did. You've been absolutely awesome. Any last words for our peeps?
Last words would be, if you need help with digital marketing, like I said, I'm happy to get on a Zoom with you and discuss your needs and set you on a course towards success, whatever that would look like for you.
Start getting those leads in the door. I love it. So thank you, Michael, for your time. I appreciate it. And I know how valuable it is.
Thank you.
Awesome. Peeps, this is Michelle Nedlick. Thank you for being here with us today. Be sure to subscribe to the show and share it with your friends. We love helping entrepreneurs grow.
Are you running a business over 7 figures but still struggling with technology headaches? Pay attention, you do not want to miss this offer. This podcast episode is brought to you by Awareness Strategies, who is offering a custom-built digital adoption roadmap for anyone running a business over 7 figures who's wanting to grow their business in the next 5 years. And it's not just a roadmap, they offer full implementation as well if that scares the out of you. Check out awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap for more details today. The link's in the show's notes. Don't regret not doing this. Do it now. That's awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap.